All right. Let's see if this is working. Give me a second. Do a little check. I need to update, put those QR codes back. I'll do that later today. Set up the rest of the stream. Just make sure this is working. Oh, Jason's on. Okay. We're good. We are good. Lower this down. All right, let me just share the stream out to a few peeps. Chat, and then we'll get started. Give me 1 second. X.com. Telegram. Post it there. Where's Telegram? All right. Turn the lights on. Cool, cool, cool. Let me make this a little bit smaller so it doesn't destroy all of my bandwidth. Wait, what happened? Oh no. The pump stream died. Pump did something and mess up the stream. Is it fixed? It's not looking good. It is not looking good. All right, we might have to do today without them. So let's see who we got in the chat here. We've got a few people on Arena. Oh, 6 people watching on Arena. Got a few people on X, a few people on YouTube. All right, so today we are going to go over some of the updates to the design of the app. We'll do a live demo. Whoops, that's not what I want to click on. This is what I want to click on. Perfect. Okay. So let me go and just share my screen and we'll go through some of these. So these are some of the design updates that we just did to Bloxwap over the last 2 days, which is why I didn't stream yesterday. I was doing a bunch of redesigning. But the idea is to really simplify the application, make it really easy for consumers to onboard, trade, do tap trading and learn how the product works, and then also give them access to all of the different markets and also give them access to a pretty light wallet. That way they can interact with the protocol. They can remove money from Drift because we initially launched this on Drift, and even after the airdrops that we did, it was still very expensive and nobody could win. And I think I talked about that in a different stream, but it's just a couple of just some insider learnings on why we migrated away from Drift and migrated towards something a little bit more more manageable and actually giving users a potential to win, which was very, very difficult on Drift, especially with the time frames and the ticket sizes that we're using. So we basically have 4 views now. There's the exchange view, which is the main tap trading interface that you see. There's the markets view, which right now in production only shows Bitcoin, but in Devnet, we're starting to test a few other markets like stock market, metals, foreign exchange, those types of things. There's the wallet, and the wallet is actually designed after this concept that I came up with in 2024 called token actions. So I wrote a blog post about it on my personal blog. And it just explains the fundamental flaw with how wallets are designed now. And this is literally every single wallet in crypto is poorly designed. Basically, they start off with the assumption that you know exactly what website is going to have the protocol or the token that you want to use, and that you have to know exactly where to go to get everything working. And I just think that most people, they don't even care about the website that you're going to or the protocol. They just want to execute an action on a token. And so that's what this blog post kind of talks about, these token actions. And so the wallet is basically designed after that. And we just have a few token actions in the wallet, which I'll show you in a second. And then there's also the profile page, which is just your balance in the exchange. And so this is kind of what the new look and feel looks like. So again, this right here is the exchange view. So this, you can just tap and trade here, and you can see visually how far it is until you get liquidated. You can also see what your payouts are going to be. So the top number is how much you're depositing every time you tap. So this is a $7 tap, which you can kind of see aligned here. Over here is going to be probably like a $3 or $4 tap. Yep. And then you'd make $9 if the price moved in the direction that you tapped and went below. So the further away you tap, the more money you have potential to make, but the chances that this green line is going to go all the way up here is obviously a lot lower, unless the market's going crazy. And so this is the main view. We also have the markets view. So these are some of the markets that are trading right now. So you can like click and switch it to like Apple, and you can see this is moving down, but you can see the Apple price trading. And this is a little bit less dynamic. We're still trying to figure out how to make this a little bit more dynamic, but this is the real-time Apple stock price. So you could basically tap trade this as well. Obviously, it's a little jankier because the size, the price here, and then these tick sizes need to be adjusted. So maybe this shouldn't be every 10 cents. Maybe this should be every penny that you're trading, but we're still working on the formula for that. And then, you've also got like metals and stuff like that as well. So we're going through that. And so, yeah, you can just pick, different assets. So you can look at Ethereum. This is the real-time price of Ethereum. You can trade this. And you can basically tap trade any one of these tokens on this platform. So this is our markets view. Then, as I mentioned, we also have the profile view. So this is your profile when you're not logged in. And the first thing you see when you start the product, when you start the exchange, is you see this welcome view. So we call it Robinhood meets Guitar Hero. And then you can go through the onboarding and get all the information about how the positions work. I need to do some minor modifications because we used to show the leverage, but we don't show the leverage anymore. We show your payout. And I'll probably make a screen that explains that. And then you can go through and see all the different places, like let me go back to went through too fast. You can go through and see, so this yellow line is your current time. Time is moving from right to left. These green dots are the current price of whatever asset you're trading. It's crazy. When I designed this, ETH was 4,000. That's how you can tell this is old, or 4,200 almost. Then you can see here, if you tap above, or the closer you tap to the green line, the smaller your trade is, and the further away you tap from the yellow line, the larger your trade is. And then if you tap above the green line, you think it's going to go up. If you tap below the green line, you think the price is going to go down. And then if it crosses, your entry point, your exit point, then you get paid out. And then you can just start. And so that's this piece right here. Give me 1 second. 1 segundo. Okay. And then, so that's here. You can go to the welcome. We're still fixing notifications, but then practice, sign in, and if you're on the wallet, you also see a sign in page. These all pretty much lead to the same thing, which is the login method. You can log in with an email or with Google or Apple or Twitter, or you can connect a wallet if you want. So actually, yeah, I'll just log in with Phantom. And this should work with pretty much any wallet that you have. It works with EVM wallets, SVM wallets. Basically what it does is it creates a smart account for you. So when you log in, you'll see your balance. So I have 11, Solana on here, and this is on Devnet. Then I have 31,000 USDC on Devnet. There's nothing in my Drift account. There's nothing in my Bloxwap account for me trading. And there's nothing in my, and there's $5,000 of liquidity in this account. So, although I need to make sure this is right and this is assigned to this account and not to some generic account, because I don't think this user actually has this much liquidity in there. So I need to double check that. But yeah, so then the idea would be if you want to execute anything, like let's say you want to play, right? You could just click here and then you can just deposit your USDC directly into Bloxwap and then you can start trading. Or if you want to deposit liquidity, you can click here and then you can deposit liquidity into Bloxwap and then start trading. And then for the people that have any funds on Drift, you'll be able to click on this and you'll be able to click withdraw from Drift. And this will allow you to take your USDC that's inside Drift back out and put it back into your own wallet. Because I know some people were worried about that, because we did an airdrop to the people that helped test the product out early. There was about 30 of you. And so you all got a couple of $100 of airdrops. And so we just need to, if you want to get those back out, it'll be really easy to just click here, click withdraw, and you'll be able to pull the money out. So that is that. Actually, let me make a note because I do need to fix this thing. Let's see. Fix liquidity balance to be per wallet and not overall liquidity not overall liquidity. And so yeah, so then to test this out, so right now we're on practice mode still. So this little yellow dot here means that we're on practice. But if we wanted to switch to live mode, so if we want to actually like use, real USDC, we can switch to live mode. So now you can see our balance is 0. We don't have any actual USDC. So any tap that I tap here, it's going to try to submit the transaction and then it's just going to fail. Oh, we got something just updated. Oh yeah, so it just failed. So apparently there was USDC in the wallet. It just didn't update. So let me fix that as well. Fix live checking for USDC to ensure to load user balance immediately. Okay, so there was USDC in the wallet. So you can click here. You can withdraw the USDC. So I can take out, if I had $238 in the game, I could click withdraw, and this will take the $238 or $200 of this balance out of the exchange and then deposit it back into my wallet. So right now it's just withdrawing. So there's a couple of steps to make this happen. In order to make our product run or our exchange run so fast, we're using Magic Block on the back end. And so what this is doing is this is undelegating your USDC credits that are in the game and then depositing the USDC back into your wallet from the vault that's running on Magic on the ephemeral rollup. So we basically store, there's a contract, the contract holds the USDC. It's like a pool that holds the USDC for both liquidity providers and for the players. And so every time you interact with the program, you're not actually spending your USDC. It's just in a vault. And then the actual, you're basically using like tokens on the ephemeral rollup. Okay, for some reason that's not going fast either. I need to take a look at that. look at withdrawal and deposit. Let's see if the deposit is working. Oops, I got off of practice. Okay, so I'm back alive. So then on this mode, I'm still doing some cleanup because I've been migrating from the old UI to this one. So this is still a little cleanup. But so if I click on this now, I'm still not getting my deposit to work. If I toggle this back on and off, I may have broken something. Oh, you know what? I bet you I haven't redeployed the contract. That's probably what the problem is. Let me reload this. I wouldn't be surprised if I haven't redeployed. Let me log out. Practice. Let me sign in. Let me just try to use my Twitter account. Okay, so now I'm logged in with Twitter. These numbers are still the same, which are not 100% correct. Let me switch to live. Okay, here. So now I have $400 in my wallet, but nothing in the exchange. So let me deposit $100 real quick. All right, so took it out of my wallet and put it in my exchange account. Okay, perfect. So now if I tap here, I spent $9 bucks. The $9 came out, and now I'm just waiting for this to pay out or get perfect. Boom, got my payout. So now I'm 145 bucks up. So perfect. This is working. The payout is actually off because I haven't. The fees are still not added in to the back end. So everybody, I posted on X the other day. I was like, "There's $5,000 of liquidity in the pool. Go take it." Because if you get paid out now, the fees aren't being applied. So there's supposed to be a 10% fee on this payout. And that's why it said I was supposed to make like $21, but I made like $40 or 50 bucks because the payouts aren't calculated correctly or the fees aren't calculated correctly yet. So I need to fix that. But you just saw successful trades working. So these are a little slow. Oh, this actually I need to fix this because you saw the lag. It crossed before the position was opened. So when you click, this is sending the position. It doesn't actually get opened until it turns solid. So you can tap here and open up a bunch of positions and deposit a bunch of money, and then I just get a bunch of pushes back right now. So just getting some of my money back. But yeah, right now, I'm getting liquidated. Yeah, it's no good. No bueno. Yeah, so some liquidations happening. So there's a couple little things we need to just check on, but yeah, I'm back down to 133 because I lost a couple of positions. But yeah, so there's a couple of little things that are happening, but right now you can go in and trade, and I'm gonna redeploy the contract on Monday. But right now you can go play, and you'll pretty much make there are no fees being applied on the payouts, so the payouts are like really massive right now. And I have a UI to fix the payouts, but I'm just trying to get the UI cleaned up, and then we'll do another deployment on Monday. And when we do the test on Monday, you'll be able to see everything working. And so now I'm up, so now I can withdraw this. Was it 133? Let's just withdraw this, and this will take I've deposited 100 bucks. Now I have $133, right? So I should be able to pull this back into my wallet and collect my winnings if this actually allows me. Let's see. Yep, there it goes. So it took out the 133. Oh, it looks like it withdraws everything. I'll need to take a look at that. Yeah. Withdraw. Check to see if it withdraws the amount or everything. Okay. So yeah, and then if I go back, I can go check on my wallet, right? And now I have this 451 in here, which I don't remember what it was. I'll go back in the stream and look, but now this is my USDC balance. And this would be just like regular USDC that you can, send to a credit card or earn APY on or do whatever with. So that's pretty much the updates. And here's the QR code. So this is your wallet address. If you care about that if you need to send USDC directly or through Sol. If you want to deposit, we're going to have a really simple deposit flow or receive flow. So you can just click here, you click receive. I want, let's say I want $250 in. On Devnet, this actually calls the faucet, but on mainnet, it'll bring up a deposit screen. But if you just click on this, it will just throw $250 right into your wallet. You don't have to do anything. So you can test this out on Devnet, get free USDC. You can do the same thing for Solana. Although this needs to be updated because this says dollars and this should just be like 2 Sol. So you should be able to receive Sol. Yeah, see it deposited 2 Sol. So let me fix that as well. Update Solana deposit on Devnet. Hard code to 2 Sol. So yeah, that's another little thing. As I've been migrating stuff over, I've just gone through a bunch of little issues and I want to make sure everything is cleaned up. So you guys are seeing development in process. So yeah, that's that. And then, yeah, it's pretty much the whole DApp. There's nothing really too complicated. You can log out, export your key. I'm going to enable delete account when we go on mainnet, just in case you want to get rid of this thing. And yeah, I think I showed you the onboarding. So it's pretty straightforward. And like I said, this is your exchange balance here. So I don't have any money in the exchange. And we also are going to support notifications. I don't know what we're going to do with the notifications yet. People wanted to know when the market was super volatile or whatever. So maybe we'll plug those in. Maybe I'll hide this for right now. And then again, if you're on mainnet and you want to go back to Devnet, you can just click here or practice mode. And now when you see this yellow dot, this is just, this is not any real money. This is just me tapping. And this would be good for practice or for demoing this to somebody to help explain the product to them, the exchange to them and how it works. That's kind of what this mode is for. And then, if you somehow run low on practice funds, you can always come in here and this is the same deposit. I should probably put like a little yellow dot next to any of these things when they're on practice mode. So, if I go here and I say I want, $10,000, right? This is just going to add $10,000 to my balance and then I could just tap away on practice mode. So let me do that as well. Add yellow dot to deposit practice mode so that users know depositing into the practice account. So yeah, that's pretty much the app, the updates that we've made. And again, it's coming out super clean right now. I want to put the prices over here and whether or not I'm getting the prices because we're using these are all coming in real time on Pyth, the Pyth price feed. So we want to make sure that you can see the prices here. And obviously I put this in here for our boy Mert. Although this isn't updating. I think this one died. So I'll have to figure out what's up with that. But yeah, everything looks like it's good to go. So we're just going to do some cleanup over the weekend. I'm going to do a bunch of cleanup to the UI, just make sure everything is bulletproof. My brother's working on some statistical analysis for, the trading. So if somebody basically just does this all day, right? And let's say they don't do this manually. Let's say they're using a bot, right? What is going to happen if the price goes like one way or another, right? Are they going to be able to just drain the account? So we're just doing a bunch of math calculations and statistics to make sure that everything works out and the trades work out and we know how fast the prices are moving. And we're using right now, we don't have a closed form function that defines these markets, but that's what we're working towards right now is what does this look like in closed form? And then we can basically take this idea and apply it to every single market and it will always work and it'll be balanced. And you'll have the market for the pool and then the traders and everybody will be able to work against each other and it'll be a balanced system. So that's what we're working on right now as we kind of polish up everything. And it's about tweaking some of the little edge cases. Okay, lots of talking. Let's see. Oh, we finally got some questions over here. All right. First question from Execute. Yo, shout out to Execute. He said, what network are you going to run on? So this is going to run on Solana. I've I was having a conversation with an investor the other day, and they were asking these questions, really good questions. Although I can't tell if they were asking me because they wanted to invest in us or if they're asking because they're building a competitor product and they're just doing like, research on competition. But as I was talking to them, they asked a bunch of questions, and they asked questions like, "What's chain?" and "Why are you guys not using a perp dex?" and all these questions, which are really good questions that you'll eventually get to the answers for if you're trying to build a product that runs at this speed with like this type of resolution. But yeah, I looked at a bunch of stuff. Like I looked at Hyperliquid, I looked at Base, I looked at Mega ETH. I looked at what else? Obviously Solana. I looked at a bunch of different chains just to see. Oh, I looked at Unichain, a bunch of the Snap Chain stuff as well. All the chains that are implementing what is it called? What's that thing? Not was it not Mev? They're implementing like flash blocks. That's what it is. So I think Base has flash blocks, which allows them to get down to like 400 millisecond blocks or something. I looked at no Monad, basically every chain. I just researched it and I tried to figure out, is this chain fast enough? Is this chain programmable? Because that's another thing. Like I would love to build this thing on top of Hyperliquid, but Hyperliquid is like a fully closed off system. You're basically using their order book, which means you're just subject to their fees. So you're effectively building a user interface on top of Hyperliquid, but they're gonna destroy you on the fees, specifically because of how perp dexes are designed. Right. What we have in our exchange is a micro perp dex. So because we don't have all of the baggage of like traditional perp platforms, like we don't have to deal with funding rates because your position gets auto closed in at most 12 seconds, right? So all the stuff that's underpinning perp dexes, we don't have to deal with. But if we build on top of a perp dex, we have to deal with all the fees that come along with all that underlying stuff. So I looked at a bunch of chains. I looked at almost everything that was in the ecosystem. And Solana L1 is fast, it works. But when I looked at Magic Block, which is basically like an ephemeral roll up, is what it's called, and you can just go to, I think it's magicblock.xyz. Let me see. Yeah, let me switch over. So it's this product here, right? So this is an ephemeral roll up, and do they have a picture of what this thing does? Where's the picture? They used to have a photo here where I don't know where it went, but they had a photo of how this thing processes your transactions. Let me see if I can find it. What time is it? Oh, I guess I started late, so we'll keep going. Is it this? I don't know. These are the documentation. Not what I'm looking for. Yeah, I don't know where that photo went. But basically, what happens is you have a program that exists on this. Actually, you know what? I'll draw it out. Oh my gosh. I cleared my cache. That's why everything's bright. Okay. So basically, what happens is you've got your Solana L1 down here. So this is Solana. And then you've got this other thing, which I'll say is Magic Block. We'll make it green because it's faster than Solana. And so Solana is obviously you got the permissionless network. You've got, whatever program that you write or whatever accounts that you have on Solana. So, like let's say this is, I don't know, Bloxwap, right? And we'll make this blue since that's the color of a tap, right? So what happens is that when you're all the accounts and all of the programs that exist on Solana can basically be copied, or they call it in the Bloxwap term, they call it delegated into this ephemeral rollup, right? So this is Magic Block here. So all the accounts get delegated up here. And let me just Move this over a little bit. I guess it doesn't matter. So all the accounts get delegated up here. So now Bloxwap runs over here. But the thing is, obviously, you can't like just copy USDC and a lot of the token accounts over. You can only copy your own private program accounts. So we copy over a bunch of state into the Magic Block system, and then the Magic Block system runs at 50 millisecond blocks. So this is actually appears at 50 ms, right? So this thing runs super fast, right? Like, I mean, Solana is not slow either, right? Solana's at 400 ms, but this runs way faster. And so what this allows is this allows the Magic Block program to do a bunch of stuff that happens way quicker. So for example, like our price feeds, we get our price feeds from Pyth, right? So the Oracle that's pushing the prices, they don't like to be called an Oracle. The price feed that's coming in here, right? So the Bitcoin, if this was like BTC, right? This price feed that's coming in to here updates every 50 milliseconds, right? So we can read the price of Bitcoin every 50 milliseconds. Now, I think the current thing we do is we just read it every 200, but you can do everything inside this ephemeral rollup. It's all gasless and it's super, super fast. So let me get rid of this cursor here. So you're not having to worry about, like all of the drawbacks of having to do gas, read everything, read all the accounts. It's almost like your own private network, but it's not private. It's like it's just running in a validator set, just like anything else. And then you go through time, you commit your changes, you do your state changes, you do your transitions, you do your trades, your balance gets updated, and then when you're ready to get your USDC back, you just undelegate out of the ER and go back to mainnet, and then you basically have all of your data back. So this is like what is this, like time plus, let's say, I don't know, 5 minutes, right? So 300 seconds, and then you go back to mainnet, right? And so you can do all your trades, everything in here, right? This is like tap, trade, win, right? You do all that in here. And then once you're done, you can just undelegate. So this is undelegate. And then this is delegate. Right? So this is kind of how the flow works is you delegate in, you tap, trade, win, the price fee's coming, it's checking your prices, it's checking your open positions, closing out the positions, pushing the positions, and then coming back down. So right now, like I said, I've looked, let me change this. This is 50 ms right here. I've looked at a bunch of different chains and I haven't seen anything that can basically do all of this, right? We can pull liquidity from the Solana L1 in terms of like USDC that we need to execute our game. We can get prices from Pyth and they can be on chain. So everything on this Magic Block ephemeral rollup is all like auditable. Anybody can contribute to like to be a Magic Block validator. This is all implemented in, like I would say like a blockchain, like a censorship resistant and trustless way. And then you can deposit, trade, and then exit. And, barring any contract vulnerabilities or anything, this should be a pure DeFi application. You use USDC, you're trading against real assets. The price oracle or the price feed is being pushed on chain. So everybody who's trading can see these prices at the same time. They're getting pushed into the ER at the same time. And then the program is reading the price and evaluating the price and figuring out if your trade is liquidated or it's a payout or it's a push. And then once you're done, you just go back to the mainnet. So yeah, long story short, it's running on Solana. And I don't even know if I could build this on anything else right now. At least not at the speed that it's working, right? I could build this on like Ethereum and then, take the blocks and go from 1 second blocks to, it would have to be, I think one of the challenges with building this on, as you make the network slower, you really like elongate the time frame of the game, right? Or of the exchange, right? Because if you go back here, right, if we look at this, the time from this yellow vertical line here to the edge of the screen here was it 11 seconds, right? Because this is, or 12, right? I was able to do a 12-second trade, right? So the time, this 12 seconds is like longer than the entire Ethereum. Like that's one Ethereum block, and you need to be able to open the trade and have it settle. So if I were to turn this into, like, let's just say an Ethereum L1 version of this game, each one of these blocks would have to be pretty much 24 seconds, right? Because you need to be able to click, and in the time that you open up the trade, like, let me go to the live mode, right? Let me deposit $100, right? So you need to be able to click and have the, I should put like a little throbber here. Let me do that. Yeah. Let me add depositing throbber when user is entering ER on profile balance. Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. So like when I click here, right, this is submitting and then the transaction is already accepted. So this, like, think about if you did an Ethereum transaction and you tried to send money to somebody and it went like this fast, right? This is not really possible on the EVM. So you need to have enough time for the transaction to get accepted on the network, which could be up to 12 seconds. And then at that point in time, you basically start the clock. So you almost need double the window of the time that you need for this product to work. So, it's like, if you, like right now, this block, the blocks on ETH are 12 seconds, I think, or 12 or a little bit less than 12 seconds, right? So if you're trying to open up a trade, right, and you want your trade to execute, you can, oh, that's funny. Your name's Execute. So you can open the trade, like right here. And let's just assume time is going this way, right? So you open the trade right here. The block's not going to settle until over here. So your trade opens here, let's just say, but it doesn't get accepted until it's over here, right? Into this block. So you have to wait at least 12 seconds before you can even open a specific trade. Right now, Magic Block, this design, this is running at 50 millisecond blocks. So if you open, there's probably some performance improvements that I can do from the time that this goes from an outline blue box to a solid blue box, but it's pretty fast. Like you can click here 1 second out and it's close. Yeah, this part's not good, right? This is taking more than a second. And so there's some research that I have to do in terms of making sure that you can open these up in less than a second. But okay, that one opened and closed. But if you're looking at it from this perspective, you just need so much more time just because of the speed of the time it takes, the speed of light to like go around the globe. And, in order to get this to work on a slower, blockchain, it would be really, really tough. Like you have 200 milliseconds just to get to the server. And then you have to process the transaction and send the response back. That's another 200 milliseconds. You're almost like half a second is gone just in communication from you to the server and back. So there's just a lot of, I don't know, low-level network nerd stuff that you kind of have to account for. So yeah, if this was running on Ethereum, you'd need this much time, so 24 seconds for each block to make everything work. So this would just go way slower. Like this would be 24 seconds. So you'd have to click and then wait basically 24 seconds before this could be evaluated. And 24 seconds is twice as long as this whole screen. And that would just be for one position. And then, this would go out minutes basically. And the way this product is designed, it's not designed to last minutes. It's designed to last seconds, right? 12 seconds actually, to be specific. Oh, and check it out. We have like a mobile version as well. So this is my buddy. This is the mobile version here. So if you go on your phone, you can go to devnet.bloxwap.com, and this is the mobile version that we've designed. So kind of see here, and this is the same thing, right? You've got your sign in. You can click here and sign in. You can't sign in on mainnet. You can only sign in on devnet. So if you go on mainnet and you click on this will actually show a waiting list, which our wait list is growing. We've had like 500 or 600 people join the wait list in the last month. So people are excited about this. But you can see the profile here again, the practice mode. And then you can go over here and click around and tap around. I just realized something else. There's no way to refill your balance here if you're signed in. So let me fix that as well. Yeah. But yeah, you can see here, you've got the markets again. So you can switch to Ethereum and tap trade Ethereum. Switch back to Bitcoin. Some of these aren't loading. Like I don't think Amazon loads because we need to get the pusher to push the prices on. But Google doesn't load. I think we just have these top, like Tesla loads, I believe. Yep, Tesla's trading right now. Nvidia is trading right now. I don't know what GameStop is. Oh, yeah, GameStop's trading right now also. So those top 4 are working. And then I don't know if the metals are working either. I need to put these in gold and silver. These things are going crazy right now. So this would be cool to see as well. I'm going to ask a request. Request pusher add gold and silver. All right, perfect. Okay, so yeah, mobile version, pretty simple, same core components that I demoed on the web version. And yeah, I think we're getting ready. We're getting really close to getting ready to launch. Just having a couple of conversations with liquidity providers because obviously we're going to need people to go through the product, add liquidity. But if you want, you can test it out right now. If you just go to devnet.bloxwap.com, or if you just want to practice, you can just go to bloxwap.com and that loads as well. So that is it. All right. I'm going to get back to work. Thank you, Execute, for the comment. If there are any other comments, let me know. Any other questions, let me know. Oh, let me go check the other price feeds, the other chats. Let's see. Somebody, okay, this person, I'm going to follow this person. This person who keeps reposting on Arena Social. All right. Let's see who else is on here. And then the pump stream died for some reason. Although people are waiting for me to start it. I can't control that right now. Let's see. What else is there? What else is there? I think we're good. No more questions in the chat. All right. Okay, I'll see everybody Monday. We'll do another stream. I'm going to try to, well, I will fix all of these issues. I also found this really cool product that my friend works at, this company called Convex. I'm going to try to use that to get the live stream version of this working. So hopefully on Monday, we'll be able to test this in live mode with like playing against each other, like a PvP with a leaderboard and everything. So I'm going to try to get that working by Monday, but we'll see. We'll see how this weekend goes. All right, chat. Keep building, and I will see you on Monday, same time. 10-1-6. 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. GMT. Is it 6 p.m. GMT? I think so. I don't remember. It's either 6 or 5. All right. See you later.